could please find their seats. We're about to start.
Did I really? I'm glad you're here tonight. I'm glad you didn't listen to me.
Maybe not.
If committee members could find their seats.
Hey, nice to meet you, Charlie.
Sam, how you doing?
It's time.
Here are,
It's time.
are just from this. They go. Like, yeah, I know exactly. Get to be real close. Now.
Hi. Good to meet you. Yeah.
That's weird.
We're ready to begin. I think we're ready. In the name of the state of Maine, you are hereby required to notify and warn the inhabitants of the town of Raymond, qualified by law to vote in town affairs, to meet at the Jordan Small Middle School Gymnasium in said town on Tuesday, June 4th, 2019, at 6 p.m., then and there to act on Articles 1 through 43 as set out below. Article 1, to elect a moderator to preside at said meeting. Could I have a nomination, please?
Motion to appoint Joe Bruno.
Second.
There's been a motion and second. Are there any further nominations?
Closed nomination. Second.
There's a nomination moved and seconded to close nominations. And by law, I'm only required to have 3 votes for moderator. If anyone would like to vote, they're welcome to, but I'm going to inflict this upon the folks up here. Oh, right here.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. And Teresa folded her.
I know.
Could you speak closer to the mic?
Yes.
We can't hear.
Thank you. It's unanimous. Mr. Bruno will be our moderator. So if you could raise your right hand, please, and say, "I do" or "I will" after I read. I, Joseph Bruno, do swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and of this state, so long as I shall continue a citizen thereof, so help me God.
I do.
I do swear that I will faithfully discharge to the best of my abilities the duties incumbent on me as moderator for the town of Raymond for the June 4th, 2019 and June 11th, 2019 annual town meeting according to Constitution and laws of the state, so help me God.
I do.
Good sign, please. And the next page is the deputy moderator.
Joe.
If I could ask you all to silence your cell phones, that would be great, or put them on vibrate. All right, I need a motion for a deputy moderator.
Was it motion for Sue Carr?
I have a second.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any further nominations?
Motion to cease nominations. Second.
Moved and seconded. Cease nominations. All those in favor of Sue Carr as deputy moderator, please raise your hand. Thank you. Sue, where are you? All right, come on up. Just say, "I do." I, Sue Carr, do swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the state and of this state, so long as I shall continue a citizen thereof, so help me God.
I do.
I do swear that I will faithfully discharge to the best of my abilities the duties incumbent on me as deputy moderator for the town of Raymond for the June 4th, 2019 and June 11th, 2019 annual town meeting according to the Constitution and the laws of the state, so help me God.
I do.
All right. Thank you, sir. All right. Everybody ready to go? First thing. If we could all stand and pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And we have an award that Marshall Bullock is going to hand out.
I'm going to ask Jessica Fay, our illustrious state representative, to handle this for us. Thank you very much, Jess. Yep.
You come up. I'll let you. I'll share. Bipartisan.
I am here on behalf of the Maine legislature to present an award, a Spirit of America award to the Raymond Vitalization Committee. And I think Sam Gifford is going to be accepting the award. So I believe the select board, there were nominations and the select board chose the Vitalization Committee, and I will read the legislative sentiment. Be it known to all that we, the members of the Senate and House of Representatives, join in recognizing the Raymond Vitalization Committee of Raymond, recipient of a Spirit of America Foundation Award. The Spirit of America Foundation was established to encourage and promote volunteerism, and the foundation presents awards in honor local individuals, I need my glasses, organizations, or projects in appreciation of community service. We extend our congratulations and best wishes, and be it ordered that this official expression of sentiment be sent forthwith on behalf of the 129th Legislature and the people of the state of Maine. Senator Diamond would have very much liked to have been here this evening, but his granddaughter is receiving an award, so he wasn't quite able to make it.
We got passed over for you. Thank you.
I just want to add this very quickly, that my co-founder of the Vitalization Committee, Wayne Holmquist, deserves half the credit. And I hope he listens to this, and I hope he gets this message somehow or other. Thank you very much.
Okay, so a couple of cleanup items. We're going to start with Article 2. I am not going to read ordinance reviews. I will only read the question. When we get to the budget part, these are capped articles, so you cannot make a motion to go above the number that's in front of you, but you can make a motion to lower the number in front of you. All right, are we all clear? Everybody ready to go? Here we go. Article 2. Shall Article 6B and 6C of the Raymond Land Use Ordinance as adopted May 21st, 1994, and amended through June 6, 2017, be further amended by adding the underscored language and removing the language and strike out text as shown below. The Planning Board recommends Article 2. The Select Board recommends Article 2.
Motion.
Article 2.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Article 2 passes. Article 3. Shall the Raymond Shoreland zoning provisions as adopted May 21st, 1994, and amended through June 7, 2017, be further amended by adding the underscored language and removing the language and strike out text as shown below. The Planning Board recommends Article 3. The Select Board recommends Article 3.
Move Article 3.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Article 3 passes. Article 4. Shall the Raymond subdivision ordinance as adopted May 21st, 1994, and amended through June 3rd, 2014, be further amended by adding the underscored language and removing the language in the strikeout text as shown below? The Planning Board recommends Article 4. The Select Board recommends Article 4.
Move Article 4.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Article 4 passes. Article 5. Shall the Raymond Shoreland zoning provisions as adopted May 21st, 1994, and amended through June 7, 2017, be further amended by adding the underscored language and deleting the language in strikeout type as shown below? Planning Board recommends Article 5. The Select Board recommends Article 5.
Move Article 5.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Article 5 passes. Article 6. Shall the Raymond Land Use Ordinance as adopted May 21st, 1994, and amended through June 6, 2017, be further amended by adding the underscored language and removing the language in strikeout text as shown below? The Planning Board recommends Article 6. The Select Board recommends Article 6.
Recommend Article 6.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Article 6 passes. Article 7. To see if the town will vote pursuant to Title 23 MRSA subsection 2953 that orders of the municipal officers with respect to the closing of roads to winter maintenance shall be a final determination. The Select Board recommends Article 7.
Move Article 7.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Article 7 passes. Article 8. We're starting with the budget. To see if the town will vote to authorize the Select Board on behalf of the town to sell and dispose of any property acquired by the town for non-payment of taxes pursuant to the policy adopted by the Select Board, as they may be amended from time to time. The policy to remain consistent with state statutes and laws, in all cases conveyance to be made by municipal quitclaim deed. The Select Board recommends Article 8. The Budget Finance Committee recommends Article 8 on a 7-to-1 vote.
Move Article 8.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Article 8 passes. Article 9.
Excuse me, Mr. What about the opposed? Are you going to ask if anybody is opposed?
Well, if I have a majority vote,
I'm just asking, sir.
yeah, that's fine. I mean, if you want to
You
vote.
are the moderator, so.
What's that?
You are the moderator.
I am the moderator, so they told me.
I'm asking you.
Yeah. If I see a majority vote, I may not ask for opposition.
Why, and why is that, sir?
Why? Because I know I already have a majority.
What if there's a different opinion?
A different opinion on what?
A no vote?
If you
So if
want.
I say no,
Okay.
you're not going to count me?
Sure.
All right, then
But the-
ask it then,
But
sir.
the article passed. We had enough people vote for it that it passed.
Then ask both questions, please.
Will do, just for you,
Thank you.
Dana. All right, Article 9. To see what date taxes will be due and to set an interest rate for unpaid amounts. The Select Board recommends first half of to be due October 31st, 2019, and the second half to be due April 30th, 2020, with interest at 9% on any unpaid balances. The Select Board recommends Article 9. The Budget Finance Committee recommends Article 9, 7-to-1.
Move Article 9. Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Article 10. To see if the town will vote to set the interest rate Article 9 passes, by the way. I didn't say that. So now we're on to Article 10. To see if the town will vote to see the interest rate, to set the interest rate to be paid by the town on abated taxes at 9% for the fiscal year. The Select Board recommends Article 10. The Budget Finance Committee recommends Article 10, 7-1.
Move Article 10.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Article 10 passes. Article 11. To see if the town will vote to authorize the Board of Select Board. Board of Select Board. Okay. That's all right. At least I caught it. To dispose of town-owned personal property with a value not to exceed $35,000. The Select Board recommends Article 11. The Budget Finance Committee recommends Article 11, 7-1.
Move Article 11.
Second.
And moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Article 11 passes. Article 12. To see if the town will vote to authorize the Select Board to appropriate from undesignated fund balance surplus to meet the unanticipated needs of the community that occurred during the fiscal year and or to adjust the tax rate as the Select Board deem advisable, an amount not to exceed $75,000. The Select Board recommends Article 12. The Budget Finance Committee recommends Article 12, 6-2.
Move Article 12.
Second.
And moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Oh, all right. We had 4 people, I think. Article 12 passes. Article 13. See if the town will authorize the Select Board for the fiscal year 2019-20 to transfer funds between appropriation accounts as long as the grand total of all appropriations is not exceeded. Any such transfers to be approved only at a properly called public meeting of the Select Board. The Select Board recommends Article 13. The Budget Finance Committee recommends Article 13, 7-1.
Move Article 13.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Article 13 passes. Article 14. To see if the town will vote to authorize the use of the town employees and or town-owned equipment or independent contractors hired by the town for maintenance on private roads in special and certain circumstances where in the public's interest. There's an explanation of when that may be done. The Select Board recommends Article 14. Budget Finance Committee recommends Article 14, 7-1.
Move Article 14.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Article 14 passes. Article 15. To see if the town will vote to authorize the tax collector or treasurer to accept prepayments of taxes not yet committed pursuant to Title 36 MRSA subsection 506 with no interest. The Select Board recommends Article 15. The Budget Finance Committee recommends Article 15, 7-1.
Move Article 15.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Article 15 passes. Article 16. To see if the town will vote to appropriate $249,497 from the tax increment of the Pipeline Route 302 Tax Increment Financing District for fiscal year 2019-20 projects proposed in the Tax Increment Financing District Development Program. And the details are in Addendum 1. The Select Board recommends Article 16. The Budget Finance Committee recommends Article 16, 7-1.
Move Article 16.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Article 16 passes. Article 17. To see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate $491,822 for the administration account. The Select Board recommends Article 17. The Budget Finance Committee recommends Article 17, 7 to 1.
Move Article 17.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Article 17 passes. Article 18. To see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate $26,675 for the employee compensation and training account. The Select Board recommends Article 18. The Budget Finance Committee recommends Article 18, 6 to 1, and 1 abstention.
Recuse. Move Article 18.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Article 18 passes. Article 19, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate $59,051 for the assessing account. The Select Board recommends Article 19. The Budget Finance Committee recommends Article 19, 7 to 1.
Move Article 19.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Article 19 passes. Article 20, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate $94,886 for the Code Enforcement Department account. The Select Board recommends Article 20. The Budget Finance Committee recommends Article 20, 7 to 1.
Move Article 20.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Article 20 passes. Article 21, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate $32,800 for the town buildings account. The Select Board recommends Article 21. Budget Finance Committee recommends Article 21, 7 to 1.
Move Article 21.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Article 21 passes. Article 22, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate $174,765 for the Technology Department account. The Select Board recommends Article 22. Budget Finance Committee recommends Article 22, 7 to 1.
Move Article 22.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Article 22 passes. Article 23, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate $1,000 for the Community Development account. The Select Board recommends Article 23. The Budget Finance Committee does not recommend Article 23, and a 6-0 and 2 abstention.
Move Article 23.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any discussion?
Yes, I was wondering why the Budget Finance Committee does not recommend.
Thank you for your question. I'm going to ask Brian Walker to answer that question.
So there was a disagreement on the amount that should be, the Community Development Fund essentially is the monies that are provided to the Regional Transport Bus, better known as the Lakes Region Explorer Bus. I believe the amount that was originally in the town manager's budget was $8,500. When the Budget Finance received the article from the Select Board, it had been reduced to $1,000. And unfortunately, with these types of articles, which are closed articles, we're not allowed to have a larger amount, although, and we never did vote on it, but I believe that the Budget Finance Committee would have had a larger amount for that. So in a way of just trying to create a bit of dialogue, we decided to vote against it. We're not against the $1,000, but we do believe that the Lakes Region Bus is a valuable asset for the town and felt that the amount should be higher.
Any further discussion? John?
John Rand, Dryad Woods Road. I'll just speak up for the bus as I've perhaps spoken in the past. I haven't been riding it too much this winter, but in general, I think it's a great and vital asset for our fairly remote community of Raymond to get to Portland for services, for economy. There's a mix of folks that ride it, and I just hope we could do something closer to what communities are doing to cover the cost of that great service. So I guess my comment would be that just to understand the mechanism for the future years or later in this year, if possible, to engage the community in that discussion. I'm familiar with what I used to call Beggar's Night, when we come out and ask for our various categories and dollar amounts. And that's certainly a good public event. If someone could just speak on whether that's the only time to try to get that number right, that would be great.
One of the reasons why the selectmen voted 1,000 is for the last couple of years, we have been asking the bus people to come talk to us. And at the last year's selectmen meeting, at the town meeting, when I walked outside, I met up with the two people. And I said, what's happening is people cannot get to the bus stop. So we were hoping to work with them, come in, let's see what we can do. I know at the town office they're giving out passes. The passes have not been used because that's something that we checked in. We didn't just give out this random number. We checked in to see how many passes were being used, why weren't they being used? Because what's happening is people cannot get down to the bus. It has one stop in Raymond. So one of the things that the Select Board is hoping to do is get these people to come talk to us. We have talked, again, asked them several times over the last couple years. One of the things that we are doing is we are also looking into RTP regarding door-to-door service, is what it is, for age-friendly, where they actually take you with a van. And it's the same kind of concept, but it's getting people that cannot get to the bus, to the stores, to the doctor's appointments. So that's something we're checking into too. So we're trying to keep the dialogue open with them, but we've mentioned several times on that.
Sheila Burke, 63 Hancock Road. I would just like to say that the Lake Regions Explorer is a separate issue from what's called the last mile, or how to get to public transportation, ride-sharing programs, etc. The bottom line is that the Lake Regions Explorer, if it doesn't exist, then the question is moot about getting to it. The Select Board would like Age Friendly to take on the challenge of the last mile. That's a pretty huge challenge for a volunteer organization without funding. So that is a challenge, but I would like to remind the town that over 800 people boarded alone here in Raymond for a variety of reasons, as John said, and if it doesn't exist, and again, it's not going to exist forever without support, unless it increases ridership and gets town funding, it will go away. It's not a forever thing that the state and the feds are going to invest in. Normally, it's a 5-year experiment to see if it can make a go of it. I'm not sure where the Lake Regions Explorer stands in that journey, but again, lack of Raymond support won't sink the bus entirely, but it's certainly a factor that's going to make it difficult in the future.
Just a clarification, the Select Board has never said that we want to age-friendly to do that. One of the things that you'll see later in another article is giving Dawn, the town manager, money to appropriate towards different organizations, and one of those is something that we have been trying to investigate with the RTP, reaching out as far as being able to go to these people. So that's something that we're hoping that Dawn can do.
Rick Harbison, I'm here to represent RTP. I'm not actually a Raymond resident.
You're not a resident? Can I have unanimous consent that a non-resident can speak at town meeting? All those in favor? There you go. Mike's yours.
Yeah, so we were here last year. We met in the parking lot, and we'd be happy. RTP would be happy to meet with the town anytime. We did meet with the Raymond Age Friendly Committee earlier this year, and we were scheduling with the town, and it kind of fell through. But I know RTP is interested in working with all the towns in the Lakes region to try and keep it as viable a service as we can.
Mr. Moderator, may I ask a question of the gentleman?
Sure.
Sir, can you give us an update on what the other towns have voted in terms of, it doesn't have to be the total amounts, but are most towns, I don't know where people are in their process right now?
So yeah, it's a good question. I'm not sure exactly where everyone's at with their process. I know Naples just voted to approve it for the 8,500 amount. Bridgeton typically does, Casco typically does, Wyndham typically does. And Raymond has been, for a while you guys were funding it at around half the requested amount, so I think it was around 5,000. Then the last year, and this year is about 1,000.
Thank you very much.
Any other discussion? Yes, Peter?
Peter Levitt, 2 Levitt Road. It seems to me that this is an issue that's sometimes classified as a feel-good issue. I mean, we're talking about $85 to encourage public transportation in this day and age.
Absolutely right.
Any further discussion? All right, we're on Article 23. All those in favor? Opposed? Article 23 passes. Article 24, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate $809,774 for the Fire Rescue Department account. The Select Board recommends Article 24. The Budget Finance Committee recommends Article 24, 7-1.
Move Article 24.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Article 24 passes. Article 25. To see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate $32,312 for the Animal Control account. The Select Board recommends Article 25. The Budget Finance Committee recommends Article 25, 7, 0, and 1.
Move Article 25.
Second.
Article 25. Any discussion? Been moved and seconded. All those in favor? Opposed? Article 25 passes. Article 26. To see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate $771,633 for the Public Works account. The Select Board recommends Article 26. Budget Finance Committee recommends Article 26, 611.
Move Article 26.
Second.
Article 26 has been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Article 26 passes. Article 27. To see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate $338,458 for the solid waste account. The Select Board recommends Article 27. Budget Finance Committee recommends Article 27, 7-1.
Move Article 27.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any discussion?
Suacardi, Deep Cove Road. Where is Casella or Pine Tree at with the recycling? Is that the same? The rates are all the same with recycling?
Anybody want to answer that?
Sure. Recycling at one time was a moneymaker.
I know.
Today, recycling is not a moneymaker.
Right.
And
I know, yeah.
I was able a number of years ago to negotiate with them. They wanted the recyclables. And so in exchange for other concessions, I gave them the recycling revenue, which, as it turned out, financially was a very good decision because it's increasingly cost them a great deal of money to dispose of the recyclables. So come next contract, we're going to see them want us to pay them to handle the recyclables. So that brings the question at some point, I think somebody used the term a feel-good sort of way of looking at things, or an environmental sort of way of looking at things. And I believe in environmental conservation and reuse of materials. But now you're paying to dispose of this stuff. There's a worldwide glut. It's become gone from an environmental good to a economic not good. So we're going to have to try to deal with that in the best way that we possibly can.
Well, I know that towns are giving up recycling because they can't afford it, and also I wonder what happens, how much we actually do recycle when you look at some of the bins, not the individual bins, but the dumpsters when it's totally contaminated. So I know they can't, they probably just put that in the trash. They don't recycle that when it's contaminated. So I just wonder how, it's been a big problem.
I think when we went to, roadside recycling, the contamination issue was reduced significantly. I don't think that's been a huge problem for them. Now it's single sort, on a conveyor belt, and so
Right.
it's mechanically and with human resources sorted. When we had the dumpsters for recycling, that was a huge, problem when everybody
Well, we
used
still do
dumpster.
have dumpsters in
I understand,
areas,
but when
yeah.
everybody had
Yeah.
dumpsters,
Yeah.
but maybe Nate wants to comment on that. Do you want to comment on?
I just wonder if it's going to cost us more next year in terms of the recycling, because it is costing the towns more, I understand.
My guess would be yes,
Yes, okay. That's what I was wondering.
but I'm going to do my best to make that a no.
Okay.
Anyone else? All those in favor of Article 27? Opposed? Article 27 passes. Article 28, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate $35,643 for the cemetery's account. The Select Board recommends Article 28. The Budget Finance Committee recommends Article 28, 6-2.
Move Article 28.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Article 28 passes. Article 29, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate $17,700 for the Parks and Recreation account. The Select Board recommends Article 29. The Budget Finance Committee recommends Article 29, 7-1.
Move Article 29.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Article 29 passes. Article 30, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate $60,000 from the Raymond Village Library. The Select Board recommends Article 30. The Budget Finance Committee does not recommend Article 30 by a 6-0-2 vote.
Move Article 30. Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any discussion?
Well, again, I was wondering why the Budget Finance Committee does not recommend.
Thank you very much for your question. Again, with a capped warrant, we can't increase the value. But to speak on this more, I'm going to ask Sheila to speak for the library.
Again, very similar to the community development account. The budget that was proposed in the town manager's budget was the full funding amount of $73,500. However, when it came to Budget Finance Committee, it was reduced to the $60,000. The majority of the Budget Finance Committee felt that the Raymond Village Library deserved town support. The request was to assist with the second year of the minimum wage increase. Again, library staff make just over minimum wage, and to add 12 additional hours to current staff so that we could increase children's programming. The amount was reduced to $60,000, and our Budget Finance Committee felt the library deserved more support.
Anyone else?
Mr. Monner, may I just add? May I add just a couple comments? I think you can see that we agree between the Select Board and the Budget Finance on almost everything in terms of the amounts that are being, you'll see most of them were in lockstep. There are a couple places where we disagree. This is a second one that we tried the same approach with. I think it's important to understand that as a townspeople, there is a way to write the articles so that they are open warrants, or open articles, excuse me, so that you would actually have more input. And there's a couple different ways that we suggested on doing that. We also asked for a legal opinion on that, and I know that's still waiting to come back from the Select Board. But we wanted to make the townspeople aware of places where, if you believe you're having a check and balance process with the Select Board and the Budget Finance, we really aren't in an ability to have the balance. We are not a check at this point when the articles are written this way. Thank you.
Anyone else? John?
Just quickly, if someone could refresh on what the instruments are that would provide some additional funding, for example, in the current year, if such funding became critical or just necessary. I see that there's some other funding coming up in in some other articles, but is there a reserve mechanism within the town's capacity that would be able to act if there was a specific request from the library later in the year? I guess that's my question.
Excuse me, Mr. Moderator.
I've called on Mr. Olson here.
There's, in emergency situations, what would happen is that they would come back to the select board, and if need be, we would call a special town meeting in order to, go with additional funds or whatever. So that always exists. The one thing that is important for people to recognize and remember is that the library is not a town department. The library is a private organization that the town helps to support, but they have their own fundraising mechanisms. They have their own other ways to do that, including grants and things like that. So we are not the only revenue source for them. And in deep history, the women's clubs, when they started that, wanted absolutely no help from the town at all. It's evolved over years. It had more or less been resolved that the town would probably, a reasonable amount would be about a little, 50% or less. We're, at this figure here, we're looking at 56%. So the town is putting in a significant portion into that budget.
Dana?
I think it's time to really look at the library as a public library, folks. We go through this every year, and I think we have to have some financing that's on a regular basis. The library has asked for increases several years since I was on the Board of Selectmen, and every year they increased. And it's just it's a great asset to this town. A lot of people use it, utilize it, and I believe that it's time that the library has to come to grips and say, okay, we're going to be a public library, not its own entity anymore. Thank you.
Sheila?
I would just like to say that, again, as a volunteer organization, as most services are provided to residents in this town, we do our own fundraising. We work many, many, many hours. But I think you all recognize that's getting tougher and tougher and tougher. How many solicitations do you get each year for every service here in this town, from the fire department to the library to the historical society to the Hawthorne House? It's getting very tough to sustain a full-service library based on volunteers and plant sales. So I think the question, whether that's Dana's question is a public library, is what is the library worth to the town of Raymond? It's a simple question. Again, I'd like to point out that full funding was in the town manager's budget, which would not have caused a mill rate increase. We're not talking about increases taxes with this support. So it's really up to the citizens ultimately of Raymond. And again, our Budget Finance Committee are glad that we just had this discussion tonight. Maybe it's a start.
One of the pieces of analysis that we did was, what do comparative towns spend on their libraries? And on a per capita basis, using the U.S. Census information, the high group is by far gray at $38.12 per capita, which one could argue is still a relatively small amount. Wyndham is at $27.91, and then it drops down to Casco at $17.73, Bridgeton at $15.60. At the current $60,000, we would be at $13.25. So significantly lower than everyone else. If we had approved the $72.5, I believe, we would have been basically at where Bridgeton is, just a little bit higher. So, Raymond does a lot of things really, really well. And I think it's credit to both the Select Board and the Budget Finance Committee that we do those things. We're extremely frugal. And this is a good example of a public-private partnership that works. where the town is providing monies, but that the library is also contributing to its own betterment, and there's a lot of effort that goes into it. And it's a great way to do it because we have volunteer and community participation. But I also think you can what is it, cook the goose that lays the golden egg if you do it too much and restrict the funding too much. And I believe that's probably agreeing with Mr. Desjardins that it's time for us to increase that funding. Thank you.
Any further discussion? Please state your name.
My name is Richard McGuire. I'm a New Gloucester resident. Request permission to speak.
I'll ask for
I'm a
unanimous
property owner
consent.
here. Sorry.
No objection? Go right ahead.
I'm surprised to hear that it's a volunteer organization. I think it's great for a town to have a library resource for especially young people and people of all ages to get together, study, read, a nice quiet place to go. Sometimes at home with all that's going on, people that are going to high school or college or grad school or what have you, have a nice quiet place to go, whether it's to study, do reports, or play chess or whatever with others. I know I used it when I was going through college. I think it would be a shame if it went away because it wasn't properly supported based on the volunteer statements which have been previously said by Sheila Bork. I think in agreement with this board that it should be supported publicly. Volunteer stuff is always nice, but it should be supported publicly. And I think it's a resource that, very frankly, no one can afford to lose. It's part of Raymond. It's part of what makes it great. I find Raymond to be a very quaint town, and I'm glad to be a property owner and in 4 years, hopefully, a full-time resident here. So please save the library and do what you can to make it to be publicly supported. Thank you very much.
Well, if you enjoyed chess, we have a killer senior bridge group on Tuesday morning. But they do get a little vicious, I'm telling you.
All right. Any further discussion? All those in favor of Article 30? All those opposed? Article 30 passes. Article 31, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate $8,000 for the general assistance account. Select Board recommends Article 31. The Budget Finance Committee recommends Article 31, 7-1.
Move Article 31.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Article 31 passes. Article 32, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate $2,000 for the support of provider agencies at the discretion of the town manager to assist the citizens of Raymond. The Select Board recommends Article 32. The Budget Finance Committee recommends Article 32, 7-1.
Move Article 32.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Oh, I thought you were going up to the mic.
Maybe later on.
Okay, all right. All those in favor of Article 32? Opposed? Article 32 passes. Article 33, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate $572,661 for the insurance and employee benefits account. The Select Board recommends Article 33. The Budget Finance Committee recommends Article 33, 5, 1, and 2.
Move Article 33.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Article 33 passes. Article 34, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate $323,600 for debt services. And you'll see what the bond payments are. The Select Board recommends Article 34. Budget Finance Committee recommends Article 34, 7-1.
Move Article 34.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Article 34 passes. Article 35, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate $785,000 for the capital improvement program, and you can see where the money is designated. The Select Board recommends Article 35. Budget Finance Committee recommends Article 35, 7 to 1.
Move Article 35.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Article 35 passes. Article 36. To see if the town will vote to appropriate the money received from the state for snowmobile registrations not to exceed $2,000 to the Raymond Rattlers Snowmobile Club for the maintenance of their network of snowmobile trails on condition that those trails be open in snow season to the public for outdoor recreation purposes at no charge, and to authorize the municipal officers to enter into an agreement with the club under such terms and conditions as the municipal officers may deem advisable for that purpose. The Select Board recommends Article 36. The Budget Finance Committee recommends Article 36, 7 to 1.
Move Article 36.
Been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Yes.
I'd just like to point out in this account and make a request, a public request, that next year that we make an effort to let the Raymond Rattlers know what's actually in that account. We had an additional, I know it doesn't sound like a lot of money, $106.16 in snowmobile registrations collected this past year. And that, again, all volunteer group, that's a few tanks of gas to help them with trail maintenance. They're not really too good at the public process, and I would ask that we at least advise them what's available to ask for so that they get the full amount of the money, which we all agree should be allocated to the maintenance of trails. Thank you.
Anyone else? All those in favor, Article 36. Opposed? Article 36 passes. Article 37. Excuse me. To see whether the town will vote to carry forward any existing fund balance in the capital improvement program accounts, the healthcare reimbursement accounts, tax increment financing for the playground, origin withdrawal legal land improvements in the cemetery fund, and the employee compensation account. The Select Board recommends Article 37. The Budget Finance Committee recommends Article 37, 6 to 2.
Move Article 37.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Article 37 passes. Article 38, to see if town will vote to raise and appropriate $788,378 for the county tax account. The Select Board recommends Article 38. Budget Finance Committee recommends Article 38, 7 to 1.
Move Article 38.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Article 38 passes. Article 39, to see if the town will vote to appropriate this total sum of $1,569,728 from the estimated non-property tax revenues to reduce the property tax commitment, together with all categories of funds which may be available from the federal government and any other sources. The Select Board recommends Article 39. Budget Finance Committee recommends Article 39, 7 to 1.
Move Article 39.
Second.
Been moved and second. Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Article 39 passes. Article 40, to see if the town will vote to authorize the Select Board to appropriate from undesignated fund balance surplus to reduce the property tax commitment as the Select Board deem advisable, an amount not to exceed $300,000. The Select Board recommends Article 40. The Budget Finance Committee recommends Article 40, 7 to 1.
Move Article 40.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Article 40 passes. Article 41, to see if the town will vote to authorize town staff to make application for and execute any documents related to a grant, and to authorize the Select Board to accept or reject grants, donations, and/or gifts of money to the town of Raymond, and to authorize the expenditure of monies awarded, donated, and/or gifted for the purposes specified in the grant, donation, and/or gift. The Select Board recommends Article 41. The Budget Finance Committee recommends Article 41, 7 to 1.
Move Article 41.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Article 41 passes. Article 42.
Not yet.
You're almost there. Not yet.
One more.
To see if the town will vote to accept certain state funds as provided by the Maine State Legislature during the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2019, and any other funds provided by any other entity, including but not limited to municipal revenue sharing, local road assistance, emergency management assistance, snowmobile registration money, homestead exemption, tree growth reimbursement, general assistance reimbursement, veterans exemption reimbursement, business equipment tax exemption reimbursement, state grant, or other funds. The Select Board recommends Article 42. The Budget Finance Committee recommends Article 42, 7 to 1.
Move Article 42.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? All right, Bob, you ready? All right. Article 43, to see if the town pursuant to Title 23 MRSA subsection 3025 will vote to accept the dedication made by the landowners listed below of title and fee simple in a strip of land bounded and described as follows. A portion of Gore Road to a width of 3 rods, which is 49 feet 6 inches wide or 24 feet 9 inches from the center line, and to accept and establish a town way on said strip of land, and to authorize the Select Board to enter into an agreement with the town of Gray for assistance with this project, outlining the terms and conditions as they deem advisable. And you'll see the names of everyone who lives in that section of Gore Road. The Select Board recommends Article 43. The Budget Finance Committee recommends Article 43.
Move Article 43.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any discussion? John?
We just have a quick description.
Somebody want to? Don?
A brief description?
A brief. Oh, I should have went to somebody
This is a-
else. You can't ask John for that.
This is a 50-year-old problem. It was the first problem I faced as town manager coming here 19 years ago. It's a perennial headache for the town managers of Gray and Raymond and public works directors alike. We have come up with a revenue neutral, and that's what Raymond likes, a revenue neutral solution to this problem that gets a road built at no cost to the town of Raymond, and it comes together through an interlocal cooperation package of the towns of Raymond and Gray. And there are lots of moving pieces to it, but the bottom line is that it doesn't cost us any money that we wouldn't have already expended. We're going to be taking the money that we would have bought assets from the town of Gray and dedicating this money to this project after Gray donates the assets to us. That's the biggest piece of it, along with donations of cash from the Raymond residents, from the Gray residents and road associations of Gray. There is a in perpetuity quid pro quo between the towns. We're going to pick up a couple miles of plowing in Gray because it's convenient for us to do that on the public road sections of the Brown and Gore roads. They're going to pick up a section of Raymond Road, to be determined. Could be North Raymond Road, could be the Egypt Road, but it's going to be an equal distance segment. So everybody happy, road repaired, moving on in perpetuity as good neighbors and friends, Raymond and Gray.
That was called brief, John. Yes.
Just one point, it is revenue neutral until there's a repair of the road needed. And by the way, I'm totally in favor of this, but just down the road, there will be some repair costs, but it's a quarter mile of land, of road that we're talking about. It's good for both towns, but I just want to make that point that when repair comes, we will take that on.
And the car-eating potholes will go away.
There will be some repair required, but Nate and I have determined that will be 20, 25 years down the road after we're retired. So we're very in favor.
Anyone else? All those in favor, Article 43?
Look at the hands.
Opposed? Did I see some opposition besides Dana? No?
Right here.
Thank you.
One veto? All right.
Article 43 passes. Article 44. Article 44, to elect 2 selectmen for 3-year terms, 2 members of the Budget Finance Committee for 3-year terms, and 1 member for the RSU School Board of Directors for a 3-year term. Election day is next Tuesday. Please come out and vote. Can I have a motion to adjourn? Oh, hang on.
Sorry, just one quick thing. Thank you for coming out. There's a lot of work that gets done. We appreciate you coming out and taking the time at the end of, I'm sure, what was a long day to be part of this democratic process. Thank you.
Motion to adjourn? Moved and seconded. Thank you very much for coming out.